Have you ever felt like a relationship is draining your soul, but you don't know why you keep holding on to it? Imagine this. You're with someone who, in theory, fits you, but something inside screams that it's not right. It's not just a hunch. It's a deep signal. One that psychologist Carl Jung would say comes straight from your unconscious. Today, we're diving into a secret Jung discovered about the human soul. A secret that can completely change how you see your relationships and how you decide if they're meant to last. Stay with me because what you're about to hear might be the wake-up call you need to let go of what weighs you down or to recognize when you found something truly worth keeping. Are you ready? Carl Jung, one of the brightest thinkers of the 20th century, didn't just explore the mind. He uncovered the mysteries of the soul. And what he found was this. Inside each of us is a hidden world, a deep ocean of symbols, intuitions, and truths we call the unconscious. This isn't just a place where we store forgotten memories. It's a living force constantly trying to guide us. And when it comes to relationships, Jung was convinced the unconscious has a unique way of telling us if we're on the right path or wasting time with someone who'll never align with our essence. But here's the problem. Most of us have forgotten how to listen. Think about your life for a second. Have you ever been with someone who seemed perfect on the surface? Maybe they were charming, had all the qualities you should want in a partner, and everyone around you said, "How lucky you are." But deep down, something didn't fit. Maybe you felt an emptiness you couldn't explain. Or maybe there were moments when you looked in the mirror and thought, "Who am I in this relationship?" If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Jung would say that feeling isn't a coincidence. It's your unconscious sending you a clear signal. And today we're going to decode what that means and how you can use it to know if your relationship is meant to last or if it's time to let it go. Let's pause here. Take a deep breath and think about the most important relationship in your life right now, whether it's with a partner, a friend, or even yourself. What do you feel when you're with that person? Do they fill you with energy or leave you exhausted? Jung believed our relationships are like mirrors. They reflect parts of us we sometimes don't want to see. And if there's one thing he taught us, it's that relationships meant to last don't make you feel less like yourself. They inspire you to be more authentic, more whole. But before we get to how to recognize those signals, we first need to understand something crucial: the power of the shadow. The shadow, according to Jung, is that part of us we hide from the world. It's our fears, our insecurities, those flaws we don't want anyone to see. We all have it, and though we like to pretend it doesn't exist, Jung said the shadow never goes away. It just waits in the corners of our mind. Now, what does this have to do with your relationships? Everything. Because when you're with someone, your shadow doesn't stay quiet. If that relationship isn't meant to last, your shadow will start making noise. How? Through those fights that seem to come out of nowhere, those annoyances you can't explain, or even that constant feeling that something's wrong. Imagine this. You're with someone who always criticizes your dreams. Maybe they tell you to be more realistic, that the project you're passionate about has no future. At first, you let it slide, but over time, you start feeling small, like your wings are clipped. Jung would say that person is clashing with your shadow, with that part of you that longs to grow and be free. And here's the key. A relationship meant to last doesn't suppress your shadow. It embraces it. It doesn't ask you to hide who you are, but gives you space to integrate those parts of yourself that sometimes scare you. Let me tell you a story. A few years ago, I met someone stuck in a relationship like that. Let's call her Anna. Anna had a partner who seemed perfect. Good job, charismatic, always knew what to say. But every time Anna talked about her dreams, she wanted to open a small, unique cafe, her partner laughed and said, "That's not practical. Find something stable." At first, Anna thought he was just being reasonable. But over time, she felt dimmed. Her friends noticed she didn't smile like before, and she confessed there were days she didn't even recognize her own voice. Until one day, something inside her said, "Enough." She ended that relationship. And though it was hard, she slowly became herself again. She opened her cafe, and today she's not only living her dream, but found someone who supports her every step. The difference? Her new relationship didn't make her fight her shadow. It helped her accept it. So ask yourself this. In your current relationship, do you feel free to be yourself? Or do you feel like you have to hide parts of you to keep the peace? Jung would say that's one of the first signs to know if you're with the right person, because a relationship meant to last doesn't ask you to sacrifice your authenticity. It pushes you to discover it. But it's not all about the shadow. There's something else Jung left us, something he called synchronicity. And that's what makes true relationships feel magical. Synchronicity for Jung is when the universe seems to align in a way you can't explain. It's not just a coincidence. It's a sign you're on the right path. Have you ever met someone and felt time stop? Maybe it was a conversation that flowed effortlessly, or a moment when you both said the same thing at the same time and laughed like you'd known each other from another life. That, according to Jung, isn't random. It's your unconscious and theirs connecting on a deep level. And when a relationship is meant to last, synchronicity shows up again and again. Think of those couples who seem to be on the same wavelength. It's not that they never argue, but even in their differences, there's a strange harmony, like they're dancing to the same rhythm. Before we go further, let me tell you my book is now available. It's full of tips and techniques to help you overcome emotional blocks and love yourself more. Find the link in the description and pinned comment. Let's continue. I once met a couple like that. Let's call them Luis and Sophia. Luis told me that when he met Sophia, it wasn't love at first sight, but something subtler. He said, "It was like she knew what I was going to say before I said it." Over time, they noticed their lives were full of little synchronicities. They'd run into each other in the same places without planning it. They'd dream similar things. They even finished each other's sentences. Today, they've been together 15 years, and though they've had ups and downs, they always say there's a sense of destiny keeping them together. Jung would call that synchronicity in action. Now compare that to a relationship that drains you. Do you feel those magical connections, or does everything feel forced? If every step with that person is a struggle, if you feel like you're dragging them along to make it work, Jung would tell you to look deeper, because a relationship meant to last doesn't feel like a constant battle. It feels like a flow, even when there are storms. But here's the catch. To notice these signs, you first have to be connected to yourself. Let's talk about self-love for a moment. Jung didn't just talk about relationships with others. He believed the most important relationship you'll ever have is with yourself. If you don't know yourself, if you haven't made peace with your shadow and listened to your unconscious, how will you know if someone else aligns with you? It's like trying to solve a puzzle without knowing what the pieces look like. And that's where many relationships fail. We jump into them hoping they'll complete us, when really, no one can fill a void we haven't healed ourselves. Imagine you're a house. If your foundation is broken, if there are cracks in the walls and the roof leaks, what happens when you invite someone to live with you? Everything wobbles. But if you take the time to fix those cracks, to strengthen your base, then whoever enters your life won't destroy it. They'll add something beautiful. Jung would say self-love is the act of integrating your shadow, listening to your intuition, and honoring your energy. And when you do that, something shifts. You start attracting relationships that reflect that inner strength. So how do you know if your relationship is meant to last? Here's a clear sign according to Jung. It makes you grow. I'm not talking about forced growth, but a natural one, like a plant stretching toward the sun. I recently met someone, let's call him Marcos. Marcos was in a relationship that kept him trapped. His partner always made him feel guilty for wanting more. More time for his projects, more space for his friends. Every time he tried to grow, she pulled him back. Until one day, Marcos decided to listen to that inner voice that had been shouting at him for months. He ended the relationship, and though it hurt, he started to bloom. He found a new passion in photography, made friends who inspired him, and eventually met someone who not only supported him, but grew with him. Jung would say that's the difference between a relationship meant to last and one that just keeps you stuck. Let's pause again. Think about your current relationship or one from the past. Did it make you feel bigger or smaller? Did it push you to be a better version of yourself or keep you in a box? If it's the latter, Jung would say your unconscious already knew long before you did. And that discomfort, that knot in your stomach, wasn't a mistake. It was a guide. But here's the good news. Recognizing these signs doesn't just help you let go of what doesn't work, it prepares you for what does. Let's talk about what it feels like when you're in a relationship meant to last. According to Jung, there's a powerful calm that shows up. It's not that everything's perfect, because no relationship is. Forget romantic movies for a second, but there's a sense of peace even in the chaos. It's like you know deep down this person is meant to walk with you, not against you. And that peace comes from something Jung called individuation. Individuation is the process of becoming who you really are, of uniting all parts of yourself, light and shadow, into an authentic whole. And a relationship meant to last doesn't interfere with that process. It speeds it up. Think of someone like Clara, a woman I met at a workshop a while back. Clara had spent years in relationships that made her feel invisible. But when she met her current partner, something changed. She told me, "For the first time, I feel like I can be me, flaws and all, and he doesn't just accept it, he loves it." That's individuation in action, a relationship that lets you be more you, not less. So how do you notice this clearly in your own life? Ask yourself, does this person help me be more authentic? Do they give me space to explore my dreams, my fears, my passions? Or do I feel like I have to wear a mask to keep them happy? If it's yes to the first, Jung would say you're on the right path. But if it's no, maybe it's time to listen to that whisper from your unconscious that's been trying to speak. Let's talk about another powerful sign. Energy. Jung believed our energy is sacred. It's the fuel of our soul. And a relationship meant to last doesn't drain you. It recharges you. Don't get me wrong, all relationships have tough moments. But there's a difference between working through a challenge together and feeling like you're carrying the whole weight alone. Have you ever left a conversation with someone and felt exhausted, like they stole something from you? That's not love, that's an energy vampire. A true relationship leaves you feeling alive, even after an argument. Think about this. You're having a bad day, everything's going wrong, and you come home exhausted. What does your partner do? Do they listen? Support you? Give you space if you need it? Or do they criticize you, ignore you, or make it all about them? The answer to that question can tell you more than you think, because a relationship meant to last respects your energy, even on the worst days. And when you both care for each other's energy, you create something bigger than the sum of your parts. Now let's be clear, no relationship is perfect. Jung didn't believe in fairy tales. He knew real love includes facing both your shadows, working through the chaos, and growing together. But here's the difference. In a relationship meant to last, that work feels meaningful. It's not an endless fight. It's a dance, sometimes clumsy, but always with a purpose. And when you look at that person, even on tough days, a part of you says, it's worth it. So what do you do if you're in a relationship that doesn't pass these tests? If your shadow's restless, your energy's drained, and there's no synchronicity in sight? Jung would tell you not to give up yet, but not to hold on out of fear either. Sometimes letting go isn't failing. It's freeing yourself for what's truly meant to be yours. And when you let go of what doesn't serve you, something magical happens. The universe responds. The right people start showing up. Opportunities open. And most importantly, you find peace. Let's do a quick exercise together. Close your eyes for a second. Yes, right now. And think about your relationship. Imagine you're standing in front of that person. What do you feel in your chest? Is it lightness or a weight? Is it calm or tension? Open your eyes. What you just felt isn't an accident. It's your unconscious speaking. And if it's a weight, Jung would tell you not to ignore it, because your soul knows what your mind hasn't accepted yet. But here's the beauty of all this. It's not just about finding the perfect relationship. It's about becoming the person who attracts those relationships. Because when you align with your truth, when you embrace your shadow and honor your energy, the right connections come naturally. Jung called it the process of becoming whole. And when you're whole, you don't look for someone to complete you. You find someone to walk beside you, side by side. So what does this all mean for you today? It means you have the power to decide. If your relationship lifts you, inspires you, and makes you more you, then embrace it with everything you've got. But if it's dimming you, pulling you away from your essence, then maybe it's time to listen to Carl Jung and take a brave step into the unknown. Because in the end, relationships meant to last don't tie you down. They set you free. Now I want you to do something for me. Reflect on this. What part of this message hit you the hardest? Was it the idea of the shadow, synchronicity, self-love, or maybe a story that made you think of your own life? Take that reflection a step further and ask yourself, what am I willing to do today to align my life with my truth? Maybe it's having an honest conversation with someone. Maybe it's letting go of a relationship that no longer serves you. Or maybe it's simply giving yourself permission to be you, no apologies. This isn't just a video, it's a movement. If these words resonated with you, I invite you to be part of something bigger. Share this message with someone who needs to hear it. A friend stuck in a toxic relationship, a family member who's forgotten their worth, or even someone who just needs a push to follow their dreams. Together, we can create a community where authenticity and growth are the norm, not the exception. And don't stop there. Leave a comment below. Tell me what touched your heart, what you're going to do differently after this, or even share your own story. Your words don't just inspire me, they motivate others reading, searching for answers. Subscribe if you haven't already and hit the bell so you don't miss what's coming. Every time you comment, share, or engage, you're helping this message reach more people who need it. Life's too short for relationships that dim you. You have the power to choose. Stay in the dark or step into the light. Do you dare to listen to your unconscious and discover what's meant for you? Do it because the world needs more people like you, brave, authentic, and ready to live from their truth. Thanks for being here, for listening, and for being part of this family. See you in the next video. Remember, change starts with you.